Hey friends, happy Tuesday. I don't have a vlog for you this week, so I thought I would just come on and do a little sewing, a little chit chat with you for half an hour or so, and then we'll part ways and you can go watch another video or hang out over with So Yeah, because I know they normally do a live sale at 8 p.m. tonight. So normally, if you're new around here, first of all, welcome. But if you're not new around here, you know that normally on Tuesday nights, evenings around 6:30 Eastern time, give or take an hour or so, I try to have a recorded and edited video for you. And this week, that just didn't happen for a number of reasons that I'll talk about. But I do want to let you know that I am still working on that video and it'll just hit on next Tuesday. I don't want a Tuesday to go without having a video on my channel though, so I thought I'd just do a live stream and have a little talk with you. Also, I do have a couple of ginger quilter boxes that we'll open and dive into because that'll be a lot of fun. One of them I haven't even popped open and I'm looking around to see where it is. I know where the one is, but I think the other one might be out in the kitchen, so I might have to go grab it. Oh gosh. So what has been going on this week? Why did I not get a video for you? Well, the first most pressing thing has been life has been chaotic in the Shiflett household this week. Mom's here. She's over there. I don't know if you guys can hear her. Say something, Mom.
Something, Mom. Hi, y'all.
If she projects her voice, you might be able to hear her. So, but she's just kind of staring at me and watching me live while monitoring the chat. But that is the most pressing thing. I have a house full of guests. My mom and my stepdad, Rick, are here, my sister and her two kids, and the oldest boyfriend, so technically three kids, are here. And it's just been a lot. Lots of house guests, lots of people to entertain, lots of people to take care of. And taking care of those people also included doing so during a 5 or 6 hour power outage yesterday.
Three.
Three. Oh, it was only three. Gosh, it felt like 30.
Yeah, you want to hear what's the fun? I'm sorry.
Here, no, I'm going to give you a microphone so that you don't have to project your voice. I've got to stand up to go get the ginger quilter box anyway, so you can. Sorry, I also messed up my knee. For those of you that also don't know about this, I do have arthritis in my right knee, which can act up if I turn my knee the wrong way, and that definitely happened earlier. So I'm a little shaky when I first stand up and take a couple of steps, but then I straighten up and I'm okay as long as I don't turn my leg the wrong way. So tell them your story. I'll be right back, Mom.
Oh,
I'll be
she's leaving
like
us.
2 seconds.
Is this on? Um, all I was going to say was for the power outage yesterday, everybody congregated down in my apartment, and I had gotten a flashlight out of my bedroom and didn't think it worked because I didn't see a bulb. Well, guess what?
Okay.
The bulb was there and it worked. I just failed to get it on. That flashlight that was in my drawer.
Oh, yeah.
So that's my story.
That's your story.
Back to Becca and her broadcasting.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Why is it also that like when you have arthritis in your knee, it's not just standing up and taking those steps, but when I'm having a knee flare, sometimes sitting down and getting it to bend is not comfortable either. But once you're in a stable position, you're good. Just don't move out of that position. All right. So, yeah, we had a power outage last night. We do have a generator, but the generator is portable and we don't have it set up to plug into any of the circuits in our panel. So when the power went out, we were without power and all the things that go with it, including water. Couldn't even use the bathroom. Like if you went, you can't flush the toilet. So Jason and I had a real talk discussion this afternoon, and I think it's time. The whole house generator is on the plan for us, but it's a long-term plan. It's a couple years out because it is pricey. But I think what we're planning to do is use the portable generator that we have, call an electrician and see if that can be hooked up to run into the panel so that at least, if nothing else, maybe we can power like half of the outlets in the basement and the well, the pump, so that water can come into the home, and if we have to, we can plug some stuff into the basement. If we have to be without heat or stove or whatever, at least we can have some lights and all the other things. So that's
And not watch TV.
Yeah, yeah, and it does. It's totally fine. Long term, I think a whole house generator is in the works for us. I think what we're looking for is something that will, with the flip of a switch, the entire house could continue to run, or at least the bones of the house, like the kitchen and maybe a couple of outlets or something. So my sister just made a salad and she's coming back in here. Sarah says, my arthritis specialist told me to eat broccoli and it would help with my arthritis. Try it. It works. I actually had a big bowl of broccoli a couple days ago. And most of the time, um, I'll be honest, it doesn't bother me day to day. It's when I injure it. So I tore my
Get
meniscus
mushrooms.
in my right knee a few years ago. When the doctor
Yeah.
went in to clean it up, he said that the tear was near completed. He couldn't repair it. He just had to like clean it up a bit, and it caused arthritis. I guess I already had arthritis a little bit in my knee, and I don't know if this aggravated it or not, but they did tell me that I would have days periodically where my knee was going to be like, "Hey, remember that thing?" And so I don't know if this is arthritis or if it's that or a combination of both. I just know I'm having a problem with my knee right now. So that was our Monday. Nicole has entered the room, so she's sitting over there with Mom. They have a microphone, so whatever they're whispering about, I can't hear, but I'm sure you guys can. So you can answer them. Keep in mind, you're mic'd up right now. There's a mic over there. Mom has a mic, so just be careful any information you're sharing, okay? I just don't want her to start talking about passwords and personal information that she doesn't want to be on air. Not that you'd be talking about passwords, right? But you might talk about personal information you don't care for the world to know. And I know she also doesn't like it when her voice is heard. So there's that. She's very camera shy. Doesn't want her voice or her face to be on camera or microphone, none of that. All right, what else do I have? The other thing that I've been working on this week is this bad boy that I have hanging behind me, which if I slide just a little bit out of the way, you can get a better view of. This is the 2018 Designer Mystery Quilt from Fat Quarter Shop, and it is not finished yet, but I am working on it. So this quilt's already pretty big. You're seeing 3 of the 5 rows on this quilt. It was a lot of work. I still have quite a bit to do. I have 34 star blocks that are also made, and these are going to go around the perimeter of that whole quilt, and then there will be another solid green border around the outside, and it's going to be really pretty. By the way, if you were whispering, Nicole, they said they couldn't hear you. So just when you talk in a normal voice, they probably will hear you. Once this is done, I think I'm going to send it off to a long armor to have it computerized quilted, because I've got way too many quilts on my rack to get done, and I just don't have the time to quilt every quilt that I piece, and I have to embrace that and let that go. I will say there's a couple of lessons that I have learned in this, and those are part of the details that I will be sharing in the Tuesday vlog that I have dropping on the 15th, and one of them is this UFO is 5 years old. I signed up for the 2018 Designer Mystery Quilt in 2018, of course, and it's 2023. I started this project 5 years ago, and I was a brand new quilter. And I can tell you the difference that I see in my piecing then versus now. I can see how I've progressed. It also means that I've had to accept that some of those blocks were not perfect, but gosh darn it, they were going in the quilt because I wanted the quilt finished. So it didn't matter if the quilt was finished. We were embracing finished is better than perfect on this one. So for those of you that are going to ask, the fabric line on this was Ella and Ollie Bay Fig Tree. It's a gorgeous fabric. Probably not something that I think I would have leaned towards today, because I'm really loving my time playing with brighter colors. But I will tell you, I have fallen back in love with this fabric line. I loved it in 2018. And then I put it on my shelf, and every time I looked at it, I was like, no, I don't think I love it. And now that I see it, I think I love it again. What do you think, Mom? Nicole, what do you think of the quilt?
I love the blocks. I'm not crazy about the green border.
Well, you're going to have a star border and then another green border. So the outside is going to be a little bit busier.
I'm not a green lover.
I know. So Mom doesn't like the green. Nicole, what do you think? Oh, Nicole's just giving me a heart emoji and doesn't want to talk. So told you she doesn't like to be on the camera. So I wasn't trying to tell her, shut up, don't talk. It was really because she does not like to be in the center of attention. She doesn't like the spotlight. So, and by the way, Yesterday was Nicole's birthday, so tossing a happy birthday in the chat or in the comments down below would make her feel loved. And she's literally nodding. So there you go.
Hey,
Happy
y'all,
birthday to Nicole.
wish your happy birthday like you did me.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Toby says it's so refreshing to hear
Ages.
you have such old works in progress. I think that's part of the topic that I wanted to talk about in my vlog is like I'm not getting things and finishing them right away either. We all have UFOs and works in progress in our stash, and sometimes they're older than 5 years. I know some people that have had them for a very long time. And here come the happy birthdays. Thank you guys. All right.
Seriously, here. Oh.
All right. Let's see. Let's get into it. I'm going to do a couple of unboxings. Tracy says, so Becca and anyone in the chat, have you ever done a pattern by pen and paper patterns? Was it easy to follow? I have not, but I will take a note and I'll check it out. Pen and paper. Sounds familiar, but I don't think I have. All right. So by the way, I am a mess tonight. I got my hair in a ponytail. This is what I call quilting hair, don't care. Ponytail, headband, get to work. Ah. Oh, wow. Patty said, hi, Becca. I just finished mine like this. So glad it's done. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to repeat this in next week's video, but I will say it. So with this quilt, Friday night, I had my live stream on Friday night, and I'm getting the 2023 Designer Mystery Quilt, and block 2 came. So I decided to work on month number 2 on the live stream this past Friday, and out of that, I got a real desire to keep leaning in towards my block of the months. And I have a catalog of all of the block of the months that I've started and haven't finished, or have bought and haven't even started. So all my projects, not just block of the months, all my projects are cataloged, and they're in a software system that I use to organize myself and plan things out. That's how my brain works. I can't use a paper planner. I love them. I am a stationery addict. I love paper.
Yeah.
I love pens, but I never follow through using any of that stuff because I do everything electronically. And so even though I want to do it on paper, I always end up migrating to the techie part of it. So I do have everything in the software program. I have all my projects decomposed. I know what my tasks are, and I can schedule them out. And so I prioritized my designer mystery block of the months after working on Friday night. It's this weekend. I pulled this out. I was looking on the shelf and I saw the bin with this in it. And I thought, it's really a shame that I'm not doing anything with this because all the blocks are pieced. You see, when I got the designer mystery in 2018, I started piecing some of those blocks. So some of them were done. And then it sat untouched for the better part of about 4 years-ish, maybe 3. And I picked it up and I was like, I'm going to get all the blocks done. It was last year in the fall sometime. I'm going to pick I think it was, I'd have to go back and look, but I'm going to pick up the rest of those blocks and I'm going to finish all the blocks and I'm going to get the quilt finished. Well, I got all 12 blocks done and then I put it back in the bin and I thought, it's not that big of a deal. I'm so close. I'll finish it another time, and life just has a way of happening and you get caught up in other projects. And so I thought all I had to do was sew those blocks together. But what I didn't know is those 12 blocks were going into a finishing setting that will look like, I will show you in just a second. It will look like, oh, hey, let's fix that right chair. There we go. It will look like this when it's all put together. And we're just going to zoom that bad boy in. I don't want to have to stand if I don't have to, but I might have to. There we go. There, that's nice. So it's going to look like this when it's all done. So this is what I have made. And then these are the stars on the outside, and then there's another border. So I took the time putting all of this together and making all 34 of my star blocks. There are 17 of each of 2 different star blocks. There's this floral one, and then the word one. And the word one took a whole lot of time because it was directional fabric. And while not all of the pieces of the star, you can see these words are upside down. These letters are upside down here and here. Not all of it is perfectly directional. The pattern actually gave you instructions to make sure that your letters were at least going left to right, even if they were upside down, so that you didn't have some going up and down and you didn't have some going left to right. So you at least had like a line look, which I appreciate. You're not going to read this, so it doesn't really matter. I did, by the way, if you're wondering, if you take a close look at the quilt behind me, and I don't know if you can right now, but all the word fabric on that one is going right side up. So that's what I worked on over the weekend. This took, but the point was, I thought it was going to be a quick sew, put 12 blocks together with some sashing in between them and be done. Oh, no, 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 no. You had to put the sashing on it, make 34 of these star blocks, which was a beast in itself. Took me a couple of days to get through, and then sew everything together. It's going to be a really good size quilt when it's all done. It's pretty big right now. And I'm looking to see if it tells you what this finishes at. I think it's going to be about 70 by 90 around that.
It is big.
Yeah, that's like twin size. It's gonna be my new bed quilt from my side of the bed.
The comments, somebody asked what software program you use.
I use a software product called Jira, if you're familiar with that. It's free. Anybody can get it. And basically what it does is it takes an issue, like a project or an issue or a piece of work, and allows you to break it down into subtasks. So for example, what I do in Jira is I'll take a quilt, and that is my task. So if you know Jira, you know a little bit about the lingo that I'm using here, but I create a task for my quilt, and then within that task, I create a subtask for all of the different milestones or activities that I want to break it down, I want to decompose it into. So, for example, for the 2018 Designer Mystery Quilt, I have a task in Jira that says Fat Quarter Shop 2018 Designer Mystery Quilt, and then within it, I have a subtask for month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4, all the way down through month 12. So all of my 12 blocks are there. And then after it, I have prep the finishing fabric, starch and cut the finishing fabric, assemble the quilt center, create the star borders, and then finish piecing the quilt. And then I take it so far as to quilt and then bind and label. And so that I can see all of those different things, and it helps me organize myself to make sure that I'm right along with all that. And then I can add due dates for each one of those tasks, and I get really geeked out about all the different things that I can do. But that's how I use it. So yes, very similar to Trello, Laura. I actually did use Trello for a while for that. Same thing. Trello is amazing as well. I quit using Trello because I kind of liked the other part of Jira that was awesome, which is Confluence. And so the other piece of it, because it's all an Atlassian product, the other piece of that is once I create my task for my quilt, I connect it to a page in a Confluence space within Jira that has all the details for the quilt. And I can put my pictures in there and my size measurement and my fabric lines and all my notes and all my other things. And then that becomes almost like a scrapbook or a journal of all of the quilts that I've made. And so if I am making quilts for shows, then all of the software, all of the information and the pictures and everything is kind of in a nice little tidy package. And I didn't find that I could do that as easily with Trello. But Trello is also free, and I highly recommend as well. It's really how just your brain works, and my brain happens to work with the Jira stuff. I will say we use Jira at work, and so Jira made a whole lot more sense to my brain than Trello did, but I really did like the way Trello looked and felt, if that makes any sense. How do you spell the program? It's Jira, J-I-R-A. If you go to Atlassian.net, A-T-L-A-I-S-S-I-A-N, I think. If you just type Jira in a Google search, there you get it. You can also do Trello in a Google search, and you'll get that there too. I have actually been thinking about, in the back of my head, I've got it on because I also use Jira to organize my video topics that I want to do and am doing and will be doing. one of the video topics that I have in Jira to do in the future is how do I get so much stuff done? And that's the topic, right? And the idea here is in that video, I want to show you the software tools that I use, not even just the software tools, but like the systems that I use to keep myself organized and on task and on track. And one of those would be, I use this software program and this is how I use it. And if you're interested in learning it, these are some tools and techniques that you can use to learn as well. That said, what works for me might not work for you. I mentioned that I love stationery items. I am a stationery addict. I can spend all day in a Staples store, but those systems don't work for me to keep me organized. I need it to be electronic. There might be some of you out there that work in computers all day long, maybe, or maybe not, but the only way you can stay on task is with pen and paper. There's no one size fits all with any of this. So I hope that happens. Jira, Jira. Yep, you guys got it.
Which package are you opening tonight?
That's a great segue, Mom. Thank you.
Welcome.
I just needed a sip of water. I'm going to open the Ginger Quilter boxes because I have 2 of them here. I will give you a disclaimer. I have not paid for either of these. Natalie Pratt with Ginger Quilter, I told her I was scaling back on opening boxes, but I really did love hers. And same thing with the Open Gate. A lot of the boxes, I love them, but I need to scale back. She sent these to me anyway. And so I told her because I got them, I would do an unboxing video, but I'm taking the pressure off of myself to do recorded, edited videos to get these out the door because I don't know how to work that in with everything else going on. So we're just going to do a little mail call and we're going to open them up right now. So this one came first and then this one. So we'll open them in order. I'll go to the overhead view and we'll go through this box one item at a time. Oh, Laura said she found Trello through working with Quilts of Valor. Yes, absolutely. I didn't know they used it, but I'm glad to hear that they do. All right, we're going to pull this blue mat over just to give you a nice continuous look. Turn this light off. Look, I get to do the unboxing without having to edit the video later. Isn't that great?
Mm-hmm.
That makes me happy.
It makes me happy so I don't have to hear it all being recorded.
Mom sits in this room when I record videos sometimes, and what you don't see is to get that 10-minute video, sometimes it takes me the better part of almost 2 hours to record it. And I do like take after take after take to make sure I get things said the right way.
You'll say, nope, do it one more time.
I do. And so then I'll go through that 2-hour footage and I'll edit it down for you so that it's coherent and I'm trying to make sense. And I got to be like, I'll be editing through it and I'll be like, oh wait, I think I did that 5 more times. So like, I almost need like one of those little little clippers. It's like take 2, take 3, and then take notes of like, how many takes did I really use? All right, so let's get into this. So this box came in July. I'm going to zoom you out a little bit just so I don't have to lean forward so far. This box came in July. This is the Ginger Quilter 2018. Oh my gosh, can't talk. This is the Ginger Quilter July 2023 box, and it comes right off the bat with a little hedgehog sticker. And I'm really excited about, I love this approach. You deserve to enjoy your time too. Oh, thank you. Spoiler alert, this box, I already popped open at retreat because I wanted to see what was in it. So I've known what was in this box for about a month or a little less than, because I got it like the day I pulled out of here to go out of town. So I'll talk about that as we go. But I'm also really excited because I've really liked collecting cute stickers. And I finally found a toolbox that I did not pay for. I have a little toolbox. I'm not going to pull it out. It's got stuff on it. But I have a little toolbox that I bought years ago when I first started sewing, and I couldn't figure out how to use it to keep myself organized. So I paid it forward to my mom. And about a year ago, it made it back into my home where it sat and collected dust in the basement. And then I went down to my mom's basement. I saw it there and I was like, oh, wait, I can use this. So I pulled it back up and I claimed it for myself. So I finally have that toolbox. I was talking to my VIP crew about that over our weekend retreat, that I wanted to get a toolbox. Anyway, got a hedgehog sticker. And the reason why I was bringing up the toolbox is because I could put this pretty sticker on my new toolbox. All right, inside of here we have a few things, and the first thing that we have is a 45mm rotary cutter in a really pretty color blue, which, Mom, wouldn't you say matches the walls of my studio a bit?
It
And
also matches my shirt.
I knew you were going to say that as soon as I saw you look down at your shirt.
And Nicole's.
And Nicole's. Do you have a favorite subscription? I don't have one favorite, but the ones that I have really enjoyed right off the top of my head would be So Sampler, Ginger Quilter, and the Open Gate box. Those three I feel like are top notch. And I was going to tell you a story about the rotary cutter. I was really excited to see this when I popped it open in the car on my way out of town because I was terrified. I had left my rotary cutter behind when we went on retreat. And so I wasn't going to go buy one because I had a backup one. Fortunately, when we got there, my rotary cutter was right there waiting for me. So I feel like for this rotary cutter, I'm not sure if I'm going to put it in a giveaway. I might put it in my pretty blue toolbox as a backup so I don't have to worry about packing my Martelli. I have one with me when I go. Ideally, I'll buy a backup Martelli, but I have a rotary cutter. Inside of the box, we have a postcard pattern from Villa Rosa Designs. The pattern will make a 7-pocket work apron that will fit sizes small to 3X. I'm not going to show you the back of the card because the back of the card is the pattern. This is a postcard pattern and I don't want to give that away for free. So I'm just going to set that aside. And before I show you all of the fabric that she gave to us for it, we did get a little stroopies. This is an authentic Dutch stroopwafel. And I've seen these before. Basically, you make a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, and then you set this on top of the hot mug, and the steam and the heat from your hot beverage melts the goodies inside, and so you end up with a warm waffle. Oh, Mom's eyes got really big over this. So that might end up missing.
No, I'm not into tea.
But coffee, hot beverage, and gosh, I want a Starbucks. But anyway. Oh, Nicole just stood up. She's like, I'll go. Well, I'm in the middle of this right now. All right, and so the rest of the stuff that we have inside of the box this month is our fabric for the project. But before I show you that, we have this tea towel, which is really cute. There's some embroidery on it as well. It just says 4-side. I could look at the pamphlet to get more details about it because she does give us a really nice write-up in here. See what she says about this tea towel. She says, the sunny tea towel with creativity spilling over into different areas of your life. I thought you'd need something to clean it up. Now you've got a snazzy tea towel to jazz up your kitchen, whether you're whipping up delicious treats or adding a pop of color to your cooking routine. This cheery tea towel has got your back. Cool. I will definitely use that. We have been using those in our room, so that's awesome. For the apron, she gave us some fabric from the songbook line by Fancy That Design House. This stunning fabric line showcases the beauty of nature in the summer with its bold florals and dainty butterflies. The color palette is a delightful blend of soft pastels and rich jewel tones, creating a peaceful yet vibrant vibe. I hope you're excited to cut into this fabric to make your apron. I'll open these fabrics up so you can see them a little bit more. Mom, does this one look familiar? I had a bunch of this that I sold on Whatnot.
Yeah.
And then we've got this to go with it. The butterflies are really
I love
pretty.
that butterfly fabric.
Oh, Tiffany would love that too.
Yeah.
And then we've got this goldenrod color.
I'm not a fan.
I like the butterfly. The goldenrod works though because it picks up on colors in the butterfly.
Yes, it does, but it's not something I would have chosen.
I will tell you I will probably not make the apron with this fabric. I am excited to have the box. I am excited to have the fabric. I will probably not make an apron. So there we go. I will set this aside with the pattern and the other items. What was your favorite thing out of that box? I would love to know. And while I'm getting the next one ready, I'll read a couple of comments. Just set this over here. We'll clean up after the live.
Oh, Lauren Oaks said she'd rather watch it live.
Oh, awesome. The Friends box from Soja. I got all of the Soja boxes for the first 2 years. And last year, I don't remember what the basics. It was basics. Last year, during the basics box, I had already been thinking about scaling back subscription boxes because, and not from a video content perspective, but just from a cost perspective. Some of the boxes I was getting at a discount or was getting for free, depending on them. But a lot of them I was still paying full price for, just like everybody else. The Soja box was one of them. And I looked at my monthly expenses for boxes and then weighed how much am I actually sewing from these boxes. Not whether or not the box was worth it, because I do believe they're all worth it. But it was really, am I consistently making or frequently making projects? It doesn't have to be every single box. And the answer was no. And it's because I had too many of them coming in. So I had to realistically look at my budget and be like, okay, how many dollars can I spend on subscription boxes? And whatever that budget is, which are my top that get in there? So if I only have a $150 budget for subscription boxes every month, which is a lot of money, I got to figure out if every box is $50, I can only have 3. What 3 am I going to get to keep? So it just becomes a competition because you can't have them all. The Soja box had a lot of value in it, but I was also getting the Ginger Quilter box and the I didn't have the budget. I didn't have the money to keep it going. I wished I could have, but I didn't have the money to keep it going. So sadly, it had to go. But this year they've switched it up. Now they're doing the Friends box. I haven't seen any of the unboxings on it, but I think it's probably still the same type of thing, right? You get the video with 2 or 3 projects in a video with the pattern, 3 yards of fabric, a full spool of thread,
It's Jason.
and a notion, a sticker, and a dad joke. So all that for like $50. That's worth it. I just didn't have it. Sorry, I feel like I'm saying this because I'm trying to tell myself it's okay. I'm reminding myself that it's okay to not be able to afford something. It doesn't mean that it's overpriced. It doesn't mean that the value is not there. It just means that you can't afford it, and that is okay. A budget is not a 4-letter word. So there you go. Anyway, but just check them out. You check them out for you. I do recommend them. I just ran out of money. All right, let's see. Box cutter. Where did that go? I've been using these as box cutters. Cotton cuts, that's another one, right? Yeah, cotton cut. This year, the monthly subscription with Soja is about designers that they have worked with. Love that. I love that for them. They've worked with a lot of designers. They are kicking butt and taking names, and I wish them nothing but success. I think they're awesome. And by the way, I can't remember when gosh, I hope I didn't miss the deadline, but I just mailed off some Alaska quilts to them. I hope it gets there before the deadline. So, all right. This is the next box that we're going to do. This is the August Ginger Quilter box. So I'm going to go here. And by the way, I want to say, like, I feel like I'm explaining myself too much and I'm apologizing. And the reason why I feel that way is because I do like Soja, and I feel like I kind of just dropped off the face of the earth with their subscription box, but I really kind of did that with a lot of people. It wasn't that I had any ill will or didn't like the box. It was just literally I ran out of money, and I probably should have put something out there that said that you're not going to see this box being opened much on my channel because I don't have the funds to keep these going. All right, I've said that. I'm done. We don't need to keep apologizing for it. Let's move forward. This is the August 2023 Ginger Quilter box. Again, Natalie Pratt sent this to me for free. I don't know what's in here, so let's see. This is the, oh, sorry, I don't have to turn it around that way. I can hold it this way. This is a little pamphlet that tells us about all the items that are inside. I haven't seen it, so we're going to look at it together, but I do like to read this as I go so that you kind of get a feeling for how she curated it and why. So the first thing that we have on top is our simple star. Oh, Natalie, I'm so proud of you. This is a pattern that she has written. It is called Simple Stars, and it's just using these really pretty sawtooth stars. This pattern, by the way, looks so familiar because this design is exactly what I came up with for Mary's baby quilt that she, and I think hers just has a couple more, like another row, maybe another 2 rows, but this is the quilt that I designed for Mary in EQ8. This is what we quilted up, pieced up, and sent for her mom's friend who had a baby. So this is not something that I copyrighted. This is not something that anybody else could copyright. So I'm not being like, oh, she stole my pattern, because that's not what happened here. I'm really, because you can't steal something. This is in public domain. Those blocks are for everybody. But this is really fun. And I know a lot of people have mentioned, do you have a pattern for what you did for Mary? No, I don't. But look, Natalie does. And maybe Natalie will put that pattern for sale on her website and you can grab it there. So awesome. I will show you inside of here. She has given us a coloring page. I do this with some of my patterns as well. I think this is spot on and amazing. It's a great way to audition colors and fabrics for your quilt if you don't have the software programs. And then the rest of it is the pattern instructions. I will show you this without the cutting instructions over here. Her formatting is really nice. Like, man, this makes me jealous. I need to step my game up with my document publishing. She's got a QR code here that you can scan for any patterning updates or corrections. You can see the font's easy to read. The illustrations are really nice. Natalie, 10 out of 10. Like, way to go. Super proud of you, girl. Knock it out. Oh, so let's read what she said about this. Is there anything more iconic than a simple sawtooth star? This quilt is meant to be simple so that we can brush up on our basic skills. The pattern will help you with your 1/4 inch seams, flying geese, and sashing. Yes, it will. Oh, cool. Lauren said the quilts are not due until the end of August. Awesome. They'll be there on time. We also have a package of Bit-O candy hundies. My dad used to refer to Bit-O honeys as the crappy candy that was left over at the bottom of your trick-or-treat bag. But it turns out this stuff is actually super delicious. They're especially good when freeze-dried, but since I don't have a freeze dryer, the original will have to do. I've never had them freeze-dried. But Nicole, you remember Bit-O honeys? Yeah, we love these in our house. They're also really good when you warm them up in your hands because then they become nice and chewy. Hey, what's up? I'm on a live stream. I'm sorry. No, you're okay. What's up? I don't know. You'll have to ask them. I know Rick is. Okay. Okay, we'll talk later, I guess. Okay. The next thing that we have is a friction pen. She said that she reaches for her friction pens for almost every quilt project I do, and I can never seem to find one because of her kids. I hope this new pen will be well loved and well used. I will use this for stationery. I will not use this for fabric. I just prefer to use the air-soluble or water-soluble markers on fabric because that will come out, and the friction pens I've had bad luck with, but I know a lot of people swear by this, so there you go. We also have, I'm going to guess this is, let me take a peek. Oh, yes. Okay, it is. This is going to go in my little toolbox. I'm really excited about it. This is a set of sewing machine cleaning brushes. She said, if you looked at these and thought, why did she send us makeup brushes? Then you might be onto something. When researching machine cleaning kits, I realized that they were all just like makeup brushes. I'm trying to pull all these out so you can see them because there's a ton in here. There we go. There we go. Jeez. Okay, yep, got them all. She said, so I got clever and sent you a full set of makeup brushes. These are going to be useful for cleaning the lint and dust out of your machine, and if you need to use one as a makeup brush, consider a bonus. That's cute, and they all match nicely, but they come in this leather pouch with a cam snap on it, and that's nice too, and it's color coordinated with the brushes, so that's really cool. What I will likely do for this is just put this in my toolbox And that way it's there whenever I need tools for my machine, whether at home or on the go. Let's see. There's supposed to be some local honey in here, but I do not see any. I do not see any. I must not have gotten any. That's fine. But she does have, oh no, I lied. Local honey is the name of the fabric line. That's great. All right, let me go through the fabric pieces and I'll read what she said. She said, this is Local Honey by Heather Bailey. She said, florals, honeybees, and honeycombs. Yes, please. This line is just so Heather Bailey, which is why I love it. I've never even heard of Heather Bailey, so awesome. In general, bright colors really just light me up, and she seemed to choose all the best ones for this collection. Let's sneak in one more month of vibrant, jewel-toned florals before the deep, moody colors of fall set in. I have never even seen this line, heard of this designer, none of that. So she has given us all the fabric that we need for this pattern. We've got our background and all of the fabric. So this should work up really nicely. I'm looking to see what would I use for this. She's got the fabric requirements on the back. She's saying for the cornerstones, you need 1/8 of a yard. For the stars, you need 8 fat quarters. And for the background, you need 1.25 yards. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I do believe I've got 9 fat quarters. Oh, that's a width of fabric. So this must be the cornerstones. What is this for then, I wonder? No, that can't be the sashing. I don't know. Maybe that's the sashing. I don't know. I don't know what it's for. I don't have all the measurements, but I can tell you these 4 are fat quarters. These 4 are fat quarter. These 4 are fat quarters. So these are the fat quarters that she has curated. If I lay them out so you can see them. This is a small extra strip. I don't know what that's for. And this is width of fabric. So I'm going to guess that's a 5/8 yard cut for the sashing. Either way, it doesn't matter. Those are gorgeous together. Even if I took this out of it and I just had this and substituted my own stuff, I think it would be gorgeous. It's really pretty. And it does kind of read a little bit fall, but this one I kind of get like Bonnie and Camille vibes from. I love those bees. She sent us some bee fabric a couple years ago that had like the same type of print, I feel like. So that is the August. That is the August 2023 Ginger Quilter box. Boom, boom, boom. And I'll put my thing over here. So we're right at 46 minutes. Any questions before we end the live stream? What company is this? This is the Ginger Quilter box. You can check Natalie Pratt out over on Instagram as the Ginger Quilter, and her website is gingerquilter.com. Might be a Temu purchase, right? Jennifer said, OMG, I need those. Looks like the dark is for the starlights. Oh, okay, maybe, absolutely. That might be it. Love this, Jody Murphy said. Awesome. I love the green with the small pink flowers. I'm looking to see if there are any questions. I've learned my pocket, my money, and it goes where I want it to go. And no, it can't go to everywhere. Can't go to everywhere and to everything. I know. That's the sad thing. I'll be honest, like I had FOMO, fear of missing out, for a minute when I made that decision, but it was a very freeing budgeting decision that had to be made. So I'm not apologizing. For me, I apologize if I let anybody down. Lori says, I have cut all of my subscriptions except the Puzzle Mystery Quilt and Legit Kit, Black of the Month. Puzzle Mystery Quilt. I have my Carnival kit. Clue number 1 is missing a couple of pieces of fabric. So I did fill out the form. I'm waiting for those couple of pieces of fabric to come, but I do have Carnival. We will sew that on a live stream once I get my replacement pieces. So. All right. I really like the quilt behind you, Lauren says. This is the 2018 part of it. It's not fully done. I talked about that earlier in the video. Hopefully I will be able to reveal that quilt to you, the quilt top at least, next week on Tuesday during my vlog. So any news on Teresa, Louise, and her husband? I have heard that he has pneumonia, I think is what she said. And I don't know what she said publicly because I haven't checked on her channel. I know he was in the hospital and supposed to be released soon. I don't have any other update other than that. FOMO is easily solved by watching other people open boxes. Yes, it is, Shelly. I have started, Lauren says, I have started to ask, do I need this or do I just want it, right? That's a big thing for me. And I'm also asking myself, what purpose does it solve, right? Like what is the goal of this? So if I'm in a quilt shop, am I buying fabric because it's going to be for a project that is active or a project that is coming up in the very near future? Or is it just something pretty that I know I'm never going to fall out of love with and just need to have? Or is it a blender builder? I have found the pretty prints, the pretty florals, the big prints, the main print from fabric lines, those are great and they are beautiful. But what I need on hand are the blenders, right? My big, beautiful prints from a fabric line, might buy a yard of it and that's going to be beautiful, but I'm going to need fabric to go with it. I don't need all the other busier prints. And so what I've tried to focus on is remembering that when I'm shopping, get more of the blenders, get more of the background fabrics, and get less of the big, beautiful, pretty, over-the-top OMG fabrics. And then also making sure that I'm shopping with a purpose. I'm going to shop. I'm going to spend money. I'm just trying to be more aware and purposeful in spending that money, if that makes any sense. I buy mini charm packs when I'm suffering from FOMO. Charm packs were my thing when I had FOMO. Oh my goodness, I'm afraid I'm going to miss out on a fabric line. I just want a charm pack because there's so much you could do with a charm pack and it's like 10 bucks. Well, now it's like 13. But at the time when I first started quilting, it was $8.99, $9.99, 8, 9, 10 bucks. You could get a charm pack, which included a little piece of fabric from the entire line. And if you add a couple yards of fabric, you can make a quilt out of it. Add a little bit less background fabric, you can make a really nice wall hanging or table topper out of it, and all the fabric is still big enough size that you can kind of see what was going on there. You do a lot with a charm pack. The problem is I started collecting way too many charm packs. I had way more than I ever needed to do, and I got overwhelmed. So now I'm just thinking about like trying to be purposeful. Like Lala Boutique has another line coming out, and I love it. But it looks a lot like her past couple of floral lines. So I'm just kind of wondering, do I really need to spend the money on that since I haven't used the other two in a quilt yet? I don't know. That's just me. It's almost 8 o'clock. The FOMO, F-O-M-O, fear of missing out. Anita says, I used to buy charm packs for $5 way back. Any tips for fraying fabrics? An Everglow. Everglow's fraying for you. So, wow. Okay. So I haven't cut Everglow. So I can't give you, I don't know how mine is going to hold up. But what I will tell you that I do, and I feel like the more I have embraced this, the more I'm really leaning into it. I starch the heck out of my fabrics using Best Press. Buy it by the gallon. A gallon does go pretty fast in my studio, but buy it by the gallon in bulk. So I usually get a case of 4 gallons all together. And I starch heavily with Best Press all of my fabrics before I cut into them. And then what I have found is as a result of that, the fabric has a nice hand to it. It's nice and stiff. It's not flappy. It feels like a nice thick sheet of paper, but I also don't get a lot of fraying from it. I feel like the Best Press really does help reduce fraying. Curious if anybody else has found that as well. Lauren says, I found a book called 2 Charm Pack Quilt. Great patterns. Awesome. Lisa says, how do I start a program like this? I need a friendship group online. Hi, Lisa. there's tons of YouTube content creators that do live streams. We all have Facebook group. A lot of us have Facebook groups. We also have Discord servers. Lots of quilting communities are out there, so you're welcome to join as many of them as you would like. And if you want to start your own, start one. I'm not sure specifically how to answer that question. Donna says, I bought a lot of block in the month, so when I retired, I would have them, but now I notice my taste has changed, so I'm getting rid of some. That is exactly one of the topics that I have planned for my vlog when I finish this quilt next week, because that's what happened with this. When I signed up for the 2018 Designer Mystery Quilt, I got this. This is Ella and Ollie by Fig Tree, which is an out-of-print line that is hard to find. You probably got to pay through the nose for. When I got that quilt, I was in love with this fabric. I loved every stinking piece of it, including the green that my mom doesn't love. And it sat on my shelf because, well, I never got it finished. I wasn't prioritizing working on it, and I was overwhelmed with all of the other things that were coming into my room that I did want to work on or I needed to work on. And so this just kept going lower and lower on the list. And then I found myself, as my tastes were evolving into brighter colors and more modern designs, I found myself not wanting to work with this because the colors weren't in my wheelhouse anymore. And so I wouldn't pick it up and actually do anything with it because the fabric wasn't it for me. I will say, though, I have fallen back in love with this fabric. So maybe that's not a great thing to talk about, but it's something to keep in mind. If you're buying kits to stockpile them and save them up, consider if that's really going to help you, or if it's better to save your money to buy it later because your tastes are going to change and evolve. And if you're anything like me, if I don't like the way the fabric looks, I'm not going to want to work on the project. Sarah says, I have made 3 handbags with the Everglow line. It is beautiful. The handbags are holding up beautifully. Awesome. I got a lot started on my Kawandi quilt. Why I like lives. Okay. I bet. Oh, I didn't starch. This was a kit. Got it. Okay. I have a lot. Oh, I read that already. I have a Lori Holt problem like that. All right, guys, it's almost 8 o'clock. I know the Soja Brothers are going to have a live sale tonight, so you don't have to stay here, but you can go over there and purposefully shop for fabric. I'm not trying to tell you to go spend more money. I just spent a little bit of time talking about trying to be conscientious and intentional about buying. But if you're looking for fabric and you do need to buy some, I will tell you $11.50 a yard is a whole lot cheaper than my local quilt shop is. Okay, that's all I got. I'm going to end the live here. I'm going to spend some time with my sister and my mom. Thank you for being on the live stream with me since there's no vlog this week. I will see you this coming Friday. Not sure what we're going to work on in the live stream. I have a recorded vlog available for us next weekend or next week on Tuesday. So I'll see you guys all then. Bye.